An old and crumbling courthouse in central Athens. For 4 years it's been illegally occupied, first by Greek drug addicts, today by migrants from around the world. The doors firmly locked, the windows barred. No access, apparently. But around the back it's a different story. The squatters at first refused to let the Euronews team inside. Some of them are not yet known to the authorities. They want to keep on moving northwards in their clandestine journey. But finally, Euronews reporter Hans van der Brelli and his Greek crew convinced the nervous residents to let them in through a hole in the fence. There is no city-run shelter in Athens, so the courthouse is the first port of call for those arriving illegally in Athens. Talal is one of them. Talal, that's how he wants to be called. It's not his real name. He says he's from the Palestinian territories, but his accent is more from the Maghreb region. He wants to hide his identity to avoid expulsion, but he agrees to tell his story and the dangers he and his fellow travellers faced.
There were 42 of us. Now there's just 26. They all died in the river. They couldn't swim.
Many illegals take a huge risk in getting from Turkey into Greece, crossing minefields by the Maritsa River at the border or making a dangerous sea crossing between the two countries. Captured by Greek border guards, Talal was sent back.
The Greek police sent us back, secretly by boat. Then they threw us in the water. They forced us out at gunpoint. Jump, jump.
Turkey and Greece have signed an agreement to tackle the problem, but implementing it is proving difficult, and both sides have been accused of neglecting basic human rights. Talal is not the first to make claims of ill treatment. The European Court of Human Rights has upheld complaints against the Greek police. Talal says he has witnessed brutal beatings.
I was with them. I saw with my own eyes. I saw it. They beat them black and blue, really.
The courthouse migrants live amid piles of rubbish and human waste in former judges' offices. Before the improvised installation of a water supply, they used empty offices and corridors as toilets. Athens' deputy mayor says the city hall has no jurisdiction over abandoned private buildings. The courthouse is now owned by an insurance company and has been vacant since 2000. The regional head of the aid group, Médecins du Monde, describes the situation as a time bomb.
These people are living between us. We have tuberculosis, for example, back in Europe. Who count these people? Who knows exactly what happened to them? If they have some kind of problems, they go in the same bus, they go in the same metros as we are. So if we don't solve them, then we will have a bigger problem for everyone.
His organisation opened a clinic and a refuge for migrant mothers with children. Today, Médecins du Monde looks after 100,000 people in Greece. Its doctors say the government is ignoring the immigrants' basic healthcare needs. Talal agrees.
We can have contagious diseases. There are some who have contagious diseases. Yesterday, someone died. They couldn't even bring him to the hospital. We called the hospital and they didn't want to come.
The migrants have begun cleaning up the worst of the rotting waste in the building, removing dozens of bags of rubbish, but there's still a lot of work to be done. The stench coming from the building is overpowering and wafts across the street. Local residents complain, and far-right groups are trying to exploit the situation. Talal said the courthouse was attacked by neo-Nazis.
We fought them. We had stones. They had Molotov cocktails. They came up the street hitting people. They had, I don't know, iron bars, shotguns. They were well armed.
Around 300 neo-Nazis were involved in the assault on the 9th of May. They attacked the migrants with sticks, stones and distress flares. Some experts expect further trouble. The same day there were clashes between neo-Nazis and anarchists in Athens. Greece has been rocked by waves of violence since December after the fatal shooting by police of a teenager. It triggered the country's worst riots in decades. What's underlying the violence? Best-selling author Petros Markaris says an unwillingness to reform the country's two-party political system is a factor. The big parties ignore reality, he says, and people are fed up with politics. Apathy and radicalization are the result.
In the middle of the 90s, society became more and more depoliticized. Before then, during the 60s, 70s and 80s, Greeks demonstrated massively but peacefully in the streets, even for the smallest reasons. This is no longer the case today. Peaceful mass protest was replaced by violent demonstration. Riots were used by small groups and political minorities to consolidate their protest power.
There's yet another problem. In the streets of inner-city Athens, inter-ethnic clashes are not unusual. The Greek government has invested in new specialist police units to respond quickly to urban unrest, whatever the cause, far-right or militant left, or inter-ethnic tensions. Banks and businesses near the courthouse are also beefing up security. Metal grills have been installed on windows. They want to be better prepared for any disturbances. Inside the building, a laundry of sorts. It's a mixed society. Drug dealers live side by side with ordinary people. Ahmed agreed to talk on camera.
For 3 days, I haven't eaten. I've no money to live, not even for coffee or for a little bread. Frankly, I'm dying here. I'm asking Europe to get us out of here, to another country. Belgium, Germany, France, Holland, England.
Relative to the size of their populations, Cyprus, Malta and Greece are bearing the brunt of this mass migration into the EU. Together with Italy and Spain, these countries account for more than a quarter of the asylum requests. These countries are demanding other states share the burden. But Germany and others are resisting. The southern nations, however, are insisting on talks at the European summit starting June the 18th. One thing is clear, the problem is not going away.